Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Fatima Zulfa and I would like to present my presentation about speaking to inform. So before we discuss this presentation, I want to share about the outlines of this presentation. Well, the first outline is about definition about the speaking to inform. The second one is the types of speaking to inform, and the third is the guidelines, and the last is summary. So guys, we are going to discuss the first outline. It is about definition of informative speaking. So, do you think that someone say about informative speaking that we think is like only a formal presentation, right? Such as the lecturer's speech or etc. Based on Courtney's and also some survey data, they show that speaking to inform is wider than only about formal presentation. Speaking to inform can be occurred in our daily life. For example, the teachers give explanation about grammar to their students. It can be called by speaking to inform because the teacher's purpose is to make their student understand about the topic or the material about grammar. So the main point of speaking to inform is to make the audience understand, also to share the knowledge for the audience. Well, here are the types of informative speaking. The first is speech about object. The second is speech about process, and the third is speech about event, and the last is speech about concept. Well guys, so we are going to discuss the first type. It is speaking about object. In public speaking, object is not only a small thing like a pen or a book, but it refers to anything that is visible, tangible, and also stable, such as places, building, people, and also animal. When you talk about the places, you may pick the topic about Labuan Bajo or Mekah, Al-Mukarramah. So when you pick the topic about the animals, just pick the specific animals such as dodo bird or Komodo dragon. And if you want to pick the topic about building, you may pick the topic about Borobudur Temple or Eiffel Tower. So the last is if you want to pick the topic about the people, you may pick the people those are influenced in our country or in the world, for example BJ Habibie or etc. But make sure if you want to choose the topic of the object, just make the topic narrower, because if you make the topic wider, your audience will be confused or will overwhelmed. For example, instead of picking the topic about internet, you should take the topic like about innovation that led to the worldwide, because it is more specific. Okay guys, we are going to discuss the second type. It is about speaking about process. Speech about process it explains how something happens or step to step get a result. So this type has two goals. The first goal is to make your audience understand. For example, if you want to give the presentation or the speech about how the microwave heat the food, it is your purpose is only want to make your audience understand about the science, right? You don't want your audience to build the microwave by themselves, is it right? And the second goal is to make your audience do it by themselves. For example, you want to give a speech about how to be a professional photographer. So you will put or you will add some technique to do a professional photograph. So your purpose is not only to make your audience understand, but you want to make your audience to follow the step by step. It's why when informing something, or when your purpose is to make your audience do it by themselves, you have to make sure the step by step you give can be clearer to be understood. So guys, the third is speaking about event. Event is a broad term. We're talking about anything that happens or is being happening. So it can be a big historical event, a personal life, or a cultural event. But if you want to take this topic, don't pick the wider topic. For example, instead of picking the topic about American Revolution way, you should take the topic like the key battles that led to American independence, because it is not too because it is not too wide. Well, the last type is speaking about concept. The text explains how to give about a concept, because concept is such a big ideas that you cannot touch, like beliefs or theory. For example, democracy, AI, mindfulness, friendship, or honesty. You know that like we cannot hold friendship on our hand, right? But you know that it exists. Because this topic is brainly and tough, so you have to make sure your audience can see your big ideas. Now we are going to discuss about 6 guidelines to ensure your audience can get the message from your speech. The first is don't overestimate about your audience knowledge, because if you think that your audience have already known about your topic, you will skip some parts about your speech, and it will make your audience being confused about it. So make sure share a whole about your topic, don't be skip one or two about it. The second is relate to the topic directly to your audience. Make the information personal and relevant to the audience. For example, you should use the term or the pronoun about the pronoun from you or your to your audience, because some research shows that using the term personally like you or your will increase the audience's knowledge, or will increase the audience's understanding in your speech or in your presentation. And the third is don't be too technical, or for example, you use the scientific language or the complex language to present your presentation. Just imagine you are talking to your friend, because if you talk to your friend, there will not be a gap between you and your audience. So why don't be too technical? For example, instead of saying utilize your telecommunication device, you should say use your phone. Just it, because they have the same meaning, right? So just pick the easier word. And the fourth is avoid abstraction. Don't just talk about the idea, but make the audience see about your ideas. So use clear description, and you may sometimes use the analogies or comparison to make your audience more understand about your speech, about your ideas, I mean. The fifth is personalize your idea, because we know that people love story more than just only number or fact. So just share your personal stories or talking about the real people, because this makes your speech more interesting. And instead of saying exercise is good, you may say like you felt better recently because you have started for walking in the morning before you start your day, because the second one is more interesting to the audience. The sixth is be creative. Giving information shouldn't be boring. Just use uh, interesting example, and you may use the picture also in your presentation. For example, if you want to present about the recipe, just bring the factual ingredients, or you may provide the photo about your meal that will be cooked, instead of only about reading the list of the recipe. So in conclusion, informative speaking is used to give knowledge and help the audience to understand the topic of the speech or the topic of the presentation. So guys, informative speaking is one type, or is a type of speaking that is used to give information or understanding to the audience. And the informative speaking has four types. They are speech about object, the second is speech about process, the third is speech about event, and the last is speech about concept. And the speaking informative should use clear explanations and a good organization. Except it, speakers should not assume the audience already known about the topic. Therefore, an informative speaker should connect the topic to the audience's daily life to make it more interesting. Also, speakers should also avoid difficult or technical words and use example, comparisons, and descriptions to explain ideas clearly. Finally, creativity is important thing in informative speaking, using stories, pictures, charts, or etc. So that's all about speaking to inform. Thank you. Have a good day everyone, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.